This is my final project virtual machine. You can deleted all my other virtual machines and only have this one. So enjoy it's running and it's normally connected to it, so I'll just to save time I'll go back to it. This is my virtual machine where I'll go over what we have to create, the group policies and the folders and the permissions we have to make and the users and who has to create and who has to create. I'll go over it. So as you can see, I've already promoted my server and it already has the roles necessary. So I'll go to tools, active directory users and computers. So you can see on that the site is signsuccess.com as we are asked to create. And then I created a Student Success Center organizational unit so that all the groups, users, and organizational units for the Student Success Center will be stored there so that it will be easier to find and more efficient. So I'll go back to it. So we have the administrators, the center manager groups, and the student advisors organizational unit. So in the administrator organizational unit, I save the default administrator, the backup administrator here, so that it will be easier to find. So this is the backup administrator. Okay, so this is the backup domain administrator. This is the main administrator. So it's a member of. So they are both a member of the same. So they both have administrative capabilities. Yeah, then we have the center manager. So we just have one center manager. Then we have the student advisors, and we have 5 users that are member of this organizational unit, student advisors. Then we have the groups, organizational unit as all the groups. We have 3 groups. We have the student advisor groups, which all the student advisors are member of. And then we have the manager group. It's only the manager that is a member of this group. And we have the staff, all staff group. And then all the student advisors and the manager are a member of this group. You can see all the student advisors, including the manager is part of this group. So I'll go to the folders, the permissions. So first of all, I created a folder called Ensign Student Success Center, and I shared the folder to everyone. So you can see the folder, everyone is shared to everyone. And then in this folder, I created the admin reports, and I created the necessary documents, and the advising documents. I also added the created necessary documents. And then to share it, what I did was disable inheritance. So you can see it says here no inheritance because I've already disabled it. Disabled inheritance, and I removed everyone from accessing this particular folder. And then I added the manager group to have access to this folder to read and write. So the manager group, the only member of the manager group is the manager, center manager. The center manager is a member of this group, so the center manager can have access to read and write on this folder and its contents. Then I did the same thing to the advising documents. Then advance. I also disabled inheritance, so you also do everyone from it, and then I added the group for all staffs. So all staffs, the group all staff, that means all the members of the group of all staff, which includes the student advisors and the manager, have access to this folder and they can read and write on it. So I'll go back to the group policy. Tools, group policy management. Okay. Is Ensign. Yeah, so I created the group policy browser configuration policy, and I created password standard policy and standardized desktop background policy. So in the password Okay, in the standardized desktop policy, what I did first of all before I activated or enabled the settings was to download the image I wanted to use, the Ensign logo I wanted to use. After I downloaded it, I created a folder called wallpaper. Then I saved the image to this folder. And after doing that, I shared this folder. I shared this folder to everyone, so everyone has access to this folder. And then what I did was come to this, and then I copied the parts of this image. And then I went to the group policy, and then I clicked on edit to edit it. And under user configuration policies, and then administrative templates, the administrative templates desktop. So these are the policies on the desktop. So this is the desktop wallpaper. As you can see, it's enabled. I enabled it, and after I enabled it, I pasted the parts to the image here, and I clicked OK and I applied, and the setting was applied. Then for the password, did the same thing, edit, computer, Windows settings, security settings, account policy, then password settings. So we're asked to like the minimum password length should have 12 characters, so I enabled it and I added the characters. And also we asked that the password must meet complexity requirements, so I also did that, enabled it. And then since the default group policy already has these settings, so to avoid conflict, so what I did was come to the default domain policy, edited it, and I disabled the settings for maximum password length, and set it to not defined, and I also minimum password length also set to not defined to avoid conflicting group policies. And then I went on to the browser configuration. Under user configurations, administrative templates, okay, I should add that before now, when I open administrative templates, Microsoft Edge was not among the settings I could edit, so I had to go to the web and I did some research, and I downloaded the necessary policy templates for Microsoft Edge. That is when I could find Microsoft Edge under here, under administrative template. So Microsoft Edge, I went on to the start up and home page settings. So yeah, I went to action to take on Microsoft Edge startup. So once Microsoft Edge opens, action it should take. So I went into that settings, I enabled it, and I choose from the open a list of URLs. Click OK. Then I also went to sites to open when the browser starts. I went there and I added the URL that we were given. So I added www.ensign.edu/information, and I applied it and OK. So as you can see, so I also went to my CMD and I ran the command gp updates to update the group policies. And then now if I open Microsoft Edge, okay, so open Microsoft Edge, when it starts up, the default page it opened is ensign.edu, as you can see here. So I believe this is all I was supposed to carry out on the assignment. Thank you and bye.